I gotta mute myself. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. eBloodyCandy again here. Sorry if my voice is a little weird. I kind of woke up like an hour ago and had a warm up Dangerous Chase. Yeah, Mickey's Chase according to the title screen, but Mickey Mouse's Dangerous Chase for the Game Boy, which probably should have been the Chip 'n Dale game, but yeah, Nintendo doesn't like Chip 'n Dale apparently. But let's just get right into this here. We're gonna start off here. So we get a character selection, but since this is called Mickey's Dangerous Chase and not Mickey's Dangerous or Minnie's Dangerous Chase, we're gonna play as Mickey. So 3, 2, 1, let's roll. So name of the game is pick up blocks, throw blocks at enemies to get rid of them. Oh, I missed the dog apparently. Ooh, another dog. There we go. All right, we're back. What can I say good about the game? It's Mickey, and he's in a dangerous chase. So the lore behind the game is that Pete stole a present that Mickey got for Minnie, and Mickey has to go get it back. That's the lore behind the game. That's the chase. Apparently, the chase is we're chasing Pete. Mickey's not being chased, so there's that. The first 3 worlds, I will say, are going to look incredibly easy because they are incredibly easy. And then we're gonna get into world 4, where I'm going to try very hard not to swear and keep this as PG as possible. And then we're gonna get into world 5, where I'm gonna get even more upset at things, and we're gonna try and keep it PG there too. This game has really tight jumping, to the point where in stage 4, I believe it is, 4-2 has, I think, 5 2-frame jumps in it that we have to make, otherwise you fall into pits and die. You only get 3 health per life. You start off with 2 lives, and if you game over, you have to start the world over again. So it's not the end of the world if you game over, unless you're really deep into the world. So here we got an auto-scroller. So at the end of every world, you get an auto-scroller of a sorts. This one's the boat one, where we just have to dodge fish and rocks. You're gonna see me collect these science bottles here, chem bottles. These are our invincibility power-ups here, that only last like 2 seconds. The black stars give us 5 stars, so at the bottom of the screen you'll see a star count. When that star count hits 100, I get an extra life. Black stars are 5, white stars are 1, and then a flashing black star is a 1-up. The bubbles, if you collect 4 of them in the stage, you get a secret bonus that gives you a 1-up. And then the hearts are obviously health. So now we're going to the woods. The woods, it somewhat ramps up the challenge here. Something I haven't talked about yet are the controls. The controls are brutally bad. So when you grab a box, you can't just simply walk up to the box and press A to grab it. Nice, all right. We'll use our iframes for that then. You can't just walk up to the box and press A to grab it. What you have to do is hold right or hold yourself against the box. I missed, okay, snake, let's settle down. I'll go up here to be safe. You have to run up against the box and press A in order for you to pick up the box, which doesn't seem like a bad control scheme, but there's a squirrel coming up here and I gotta get ready for him. There he is. Gonna be another squirrel coming up here. Yep. Yeah, be careful of the squirrels. All right, that's the end of the stage. That's why I wanted to be careful. But when you're in a tight situation and things are coming at you, you sometimes forget to hold up against the square because you want to move too quick, and yeah. So this is 2-2. We're gonna take the bottom route. I've had more success with the derusting so far, taking bottom route than top route. I don't know why, because I think the actual way to go is on top of the tree canopy. But for some reason, I take so much damage when I do it, I just gave up trying. So we just take bottom route. It's a little bit slower, but it's a little bit safer as well. We just have to dodge some squirrels and whatnot, but we still have to go through this boulder segment regardless. We're gonna play a little safe here. So you're gonna notice that those boulders bounce off of the background, which is really helpful because they're the only things that bounce off that background wall. If you try to do it against a flying squirrel, the flying squirrel will land in the pit, as you're gonna see right here, instead of the background wall like the boulders just did. Nice hitbox. So this game is really consistent in that way too. So here we go, we're gonna hop into a balloon. The balloon speed is based off of your health. So we have 2 health, so we're gonna be pretty slow to get go right here. These birds are dicks. So now we're gonna go cruising here. Oh no, alright, well. Now we're just gonna yellow the entire thing. So basically if you hug against this right wall, we'll probably take 1 or 2 more pieces of damage. Not the end of the world, but it's pretty safe, so. A little slower, but we're not gonna die, so. I wanted that star, thank you. Alright. There's Goofy just hanging out. I don't know why Goofy just couldn't chase down Pete for us. Like, Goofy is clearly ahead of the pack here, going after Pete, and he just stands there and just waits. This could have been Goofy's dangerous chase. He could have had his time to shine. So here we got birds. Birds are jerks. Prairie dogs, this is the only time you'll ever see them. There's a bubble for luck. We're gonna wait here because I don't like taking damage this early on in this stage. We got a health pick up here. And then these platforms here, so like now we're introduced to falling platforms. Falling platforms are the bane of anyone's existence in this game because when the platform starts to fall, you can't control Mickey anymore, and the platforms fall pretty quick as well too. There's an invincibility pot down below there, but it's not worth getting. So here we go. Here's some jumps. These jumps right here you have to do in stage 4 on a moving conveyor belt. It's a pretty good time. All right. Let's take that hit there. We're gonna just walk past this guy here. The spikes will, if you touch the side of the spikes, this is one of those games. If you touch the side of the spikes, they will hurt you. But luckily it's not like Kirby's Dream Land where if you touch the spikes, it takes half your health away. Alright, so this is the haunted house. Here's some jerk bats. This is probably, when you're first playing the game blind, this is probably where you'll take your first death, honestly. Or at least where you'll take the most damage. The stage itself is relatively easy. It's just there's a lot of nook and crannies that can kind of jump out at you if you don't know some of the shortcuts or where to go. So here we're gonna grab this and we're just gonna go. Kill this one spider. That's the only thing we're gonna kill with this invincibility pot. Nope, we didn't make that jump, so we're gonna try again. All right. So in this stage here, we want to stay on top. If you stay on the ground in this stage, it is grossly dangerous because it's all spikes, basically. So here we're gonna wait for this bat to flap up. And then we're gonna try and do alright, well, whatever. I have enough health to do this, so the end of the stage is right here. And we're just gonna damage boost to the end there. So now Pete's heading down the mountain, so the only way down a mountain, clearly, is to ride birds. And this section of the game is pretty interesting, honestly. This is actually probably my favorite part of the game. Just because of how lax it is. But if you do miss a bird, you'll fall to your death. But luckily, like when Mickey jumps, Mickey has a lot of floaty when he jumps. So and honestly, like as much as I'm gonna crap on this game during this playthrough, the controls when in the air are immaculate. So they did something right. What's up, Goofy? All right. All right, into the warehouse. the industrial area. This is where the game's difficulty gets absolutely bonkers. So this stage here is not bad, but the entire floor is spikes. So if you ever played the Floor is Lava game, that's what we're doing here right now. So the name of the game is to toss these blocks out of the way to maneuver through the stage. Luckily for us, like when Mickey picks up a block, he kind of holds himself in the air for a little bit. That actually helps us tremendously to get through this without taking a lot of damage. Right up here. Alright. So those little black things there are enemies that you can't. I mean, you might be able to kill them if you throw enough blocks at them. Never tried. I usually just take the block from underneath them and let them fall down. But everything in this game does damage to you, regardless. Here's a beginner's trap. Typically, when you first play through the game, the first thing you want to do is just jump off and hold right, and you'll end up in spikes doing that. We're gonna wait for this because we missed the cycle. That's just a black star up there. And then here, fall down, jump up, and there's Goofy. All right, 4-2. This is, in my opinion, the hardest stage in the game. Remember how I talked about like those really tight 2-frame jumps? Here they come, on moving conveyor belts. So, all right, we're through that part. So here we have to wait for the stampy things. They do two jump. Okay, nice jump, Mickey. They do two plunges each. So there's a pattern to them. We're gonna fall down here, and here we go. Here's the first one. All right, nailed it. All right, here's the second set. Thank you. Alright, we're just gonna wait for this because we missed the timing on this one too. Alright. Oh, get ready, Mickey. Alright. Thank you. Now we got some moving platforms here. These platforms overlap, so you gotta be careful like that. So you gotta be careful. And here's our third set. Alright. This is where I usually fail them. These jumps are stupid. Oh. Oh. Hey, all right, we're gonna take a shortcut. So typically you'd have to run through the bottom part of that section right there. I wasn't ready for these mini jumps yet. I don't want to throw that right there, but whatever. All right, there's Goofy. We got some nice star action going on. Yeah, that is, in my opinion, the hardest stage of the game. So now we're in the auto-scroller driving segment, as you are, and then we're just going to drop down here, grab this invincibility, there's going to be a heart, and we're going to drive through some tunnels, because I don't want to deal with the weasels, because this is officially Roger Rabbit now. Alright. Okay, so this is not the hardest auto-scroller, but it is difficult, to say the least. The way this auto-scroller works is it's a beginner's trap auto-scroller, where if you don't go into certain sections with full health, you are guaranteed to die in this stage. So the name of the game for us is that we cannot take any more damage. Yeah, we're in the clear. Because we take 2 damages, we take 2 hits from a car to get to the end of the game, or to the end of the stage. So now we're on World 5. We're in the final world of the game. And you're probably like, wow, UBC, why do you have a 25-minute estimate? You're going to see very quickly why we have a 25-minute estimate on this game. This stage really tests your ability to jump. When we come up here, there's going to be oil barrels that you cannot jump over. Another one of those jumps. There's another one of those jumps. This game loves those tight jumps. There's gonna be some oil barrels coming right up here after these next two tires being bounced at us. And the only way to get through them without getting hurt is to jump under them. So the way this game works is the longer I hold jump, the higher I jump. The less I hold jump, the lower I jump. So it's one of those types of games. And this entire world tests you on that. Alright. And if we went up and it let the barrel hit us, there's a 1-up there, but I think we should be pretty okay. Okay. This is the auto-scroller, 5-2 auto-scroller. Now these jumps, you have to use coyote time to make. You're going to see literally right away what I mean by that. And this is another one of those gacha auto-scrollers. This is the hardest auto-scroller in the game as well. So here's one of those coyote jumps that you can barely make. Here's another one, right back to back. No big deal. You're just like, oh wow, you know, the platforms are big enough to do that stuff. Yeah, they get smaller. That's how this game operates. And then here's my problem I have with the game is everything looks the same, so I get ahead of myself like this, and I'm gonna die right here. Everything looks the same, so I think that I have to move left sooner than I have to. Alright. Get back to where we were here. Oh yeah, and every time you die, you get to choose which mouse you want to play as. But like I said, this is Mickey's Dangerous Chase, not Minnie's, so... also, this game ruins my hands, so... Alright, made that jump. Remember where to go from here, left. Another massive jump. Another massive jump. Alright. I saw the black spot on the screen. I thought it was a flower pot falling down on me. Like that one. Alright, and we're at the end. That's 5-2. Now we go on to the final stage of the game. Final stage of the game is, in my opinion, one of the easiest. However, we're gonna wait for that cycle. I actually fell through that platform in D-Rust and threw some swear words out. So we're just gonna wait. So that question mark right there is definitely a trap. It's a 1-up, but you'll die getting it. It's one of those. So here we're gonna collect some things here. This platform doesn't go all the way to the edge on either side, so you just have to know to jump. Gonna grab the question mark there to save us. Alright, Pete. Alright. Big jump. We're gonna start collecting these stars now just to see if I can save a 1-up. And then every question mark after this is going to be a black star. So after this, oh, nope, I was wrong. Oh, all right. I thought it was the next platform. Pete's gonna start throwing 2 balls at us now per platform. Then jump, throw one. If we're fast enough, you can watch him throw the other one. Yeah. All right, so these are the falling platforms. Remember how I said, like, you have a pretty split-second decision to go before you hit those. All right, and all right, we have enough for 1 health, and we're gonna here's the fight. So I don't remember how many hits it takes on Pete, but we're gonna try very hard not to. Oh! I don't know how that didn't hit me. So again, remember how I said you have to lean into the box in order to pick it up. And in situations like this, you get a little stressed out, and sometimes you forget to hold the left or right button when Pete is doing his thing. All right, I think it's 1 more hit on Pete. Yep. See ya, Pete, nerd, and time. Hey, sub 20. The many hours of using the F word and D-Rust has worked out. Yeah, so we beat up Pete and we get our present back. So we chased him off. What do you guys think is in the present? A ring? A ribbon? Perhaps from Minnie? We got the present. Here, Minnie, it's for you. So you really think it's a piece of jewelry? Oh, what could it be? Minnie, you're gonna be in awe that it's this bird that miraculously lived in a box without holes in it. And somehow didn't somehow didn't get injured in the process of running in a box with Pete. All right, and then it shows us the cast, which is Mickey, Minnie, Pete, and Goofy. There's no Donald, there's no... I forgot all the other... Oh, Big Bad Pete, my bad. I like how they saved Goofy for last, though. Yeah, also the bird can talk, so I got a magical bird, I guess. Must have came from Fantasia. And then it scrolls the staff. But yeah, that's Mickey's Dangerous Chase. Looks like next up we have the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. That's actually a pretty fun game. I enjoy that game. Yeah, I'll be back on again later with probably the most awesome block in the world with our favorite basketball player and kung fu artist. So stick around, watch some more Mickey, watch some more Retrothon. Thanks.